back. They came, they saw, they stabbed back. From haunted houses to mass maniacs, these 15 final girls fought their way to horror movie legend. The question is, who's the baddest of them all? Find out on the Previously On podcast. Welcome to the Previously On podcast, the show where we remind you, why is that one scene stuck in your head rent free? I'm your host, Will, and I'm joined by my podcast co host in chaos.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of Previously On.
From babysitters to badass brawlers, today we're counting down the queens who ran, screamed, survived, and made horror movie history doing it. So grab your popcorn and a weapon of choice because we're counting down our top 15 most iconic final girls of all time. Now, before we get into our list, we have a special guest with us. We're joined by makeup artists, drag artists, special effects artists, and the host of the Horror Icon podcast, Crybaby. How are you doing, Crybaby? And welcome to the Previously On podcast.
Hi, cuties. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm doing so well. I had a gig today, so I'm feeling nourished, a little tired, but stoked. This is my favorite. This is like my pocket. This is exactly where I want to be. Horror is everything to me.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, when we decided to make this episode, we were like, oh, we have to reach out to you. Like, it is like a match made in heaven for your podcast to come on ours. And you're the first guest that we're having on the Previously On podcast, too. So that's good.
That's such an honor. Thank you so much for that's oh wow, I'm even more excited. This is great. Thank you.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
flattered. I'm very flattered.
All
Yeah,
right.
and no, I mean, like, I grew up watching horror movies, so I don't even remember how this came about. I think we just talked about it randomly one day, and I was like, oh my God, we need to, like, do one. And then you were like, yes, and we need to have Crybaby on. This has been a long time coming, and I'm glad we can finally do it.
Yes, correct. All right, so how this is going to work is we are ranking the top 15 most iconic final girls. Now, how do we come up with the rankings? So there are four categories that we ranked them at. Each of them are worth 25 points. So we have survivability, which means how resourceful and badass were they in staying alive. We have the cultural impact, right, which is like how much did they shape horror and pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have performance, which is acting chops, emotional range, and then the scream factor. The reason why we didn't say scream queens is because it's a difference between a scream queen and a final girl, because not all scream queens tend to be final girls. And then we have legacy, which is the final 25 points. If it's a sequel, spin-offs, and just fan devotion over time. Okay. And I think once we get into the top five, I think the legacy is what comes into play because that's when it's really, you can see that, okay, yes, these final girls are known for being the final girl. They have their arch nemesis. Like, so we have the 15 that we're ranking, but we do have some honorable mentions that I had to put on the list because somebody yelled at me, aka Shawani. So the first one up is we have Emerald Haywood from Nope. And I had to put this one as an honorable mention because one, I actually forgot until I looked at your list, Cryberry, and I was like, oh my God, yes, Emerald. Yeah, how can I forget about Nope? Like, which is a really cool movie though.
Oh yeah, and Kiki Palmer brings so much charisma to that role. It's insane. I'm obsessed with her. She's one of my favorites.
And honestly, when we're talking about resourceful, like that girl was really resourceful. Like that girl was not going down without a fight. Like she was, I'm gonna make it through to the end, and she did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I also like the dynamics between her and her brother. I think it's really interesting. One, that they're both two like African American characters as well, like leading a horror movie. So I also thought that was great, just for the representation and what they meant. And then they were related in the movie too. So I think that's also like another factor to it. But Emerald brought a comedic, I would say, like a comedic timing to the movie, the comedic relief to the movie, because her facial expressions when she was going through it, and I'm like, yo, Kiki Palmer is having the time of her life right now.
Yeah, it's just fun all around. Huge, huge fan.
Yes. Even though it's a weird movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
Nope,
It's a
it's
good kind of weird though. It's a good kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Nothing wrong with
Like
yeah.
it,
weird. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
let's
Jordan Peele is
the alien. I love the design of the alien. Like that's not what I was expected at all. I feel like when we think alien, we tend to think something like obviously, very green, tentacles, huge eyes. So this being like some kind of like kite-looking creature that had no real face or anything like that, I thought was an incredible take on what an alien can be.
I thought it looked like a vagina.
Oh yeah, it's a
And
flying
that,
flesh jack. We all know that. Jean jacket. But, I what I love is it feels kind of like Jordan Peele's version of a western cuz we all know jean
Yes.
jacket looks like a hat. So, I just think
Yes.
it's pretty cheeky design, I think.
Mhm.
Yes. Speaking of a Jordan Peele horror movie, he has another one coming out. It's called Him, which I'm really excited about because it's another one, right? I like Jordan Peele's idea of horror because I think he takes it in a very cerebral way
Mhm.
that I don't think people would think about. It's not like so much in your face like a slasher film. And so you had Us, then you have Nope, and then Him. And each of them have you thinking about the underlying theme in his movies, which I think is great. All right.
Definitely agreed.
Next up, it is the one that I got yelled at over. We have Jesse Walls from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Now, I know that this is one of Giovanni's favorite movies,
Yes.
literally one of his favorite movies of all time.
Well, no, I yelled at you for not including him whatsoever. And I was like, he needs to at least be an honorable mention. This movie was such a gay awakening for me. Like, anyone who's seen this movie knows there's a lot of like gay innuendo scenes, and honestly, some of them weren't even that subtle. Like, there's a whole scene with like the what is it, the coach in the locker room or whatever. Like, it was a very gay movie. And Jesse is a scream queen, the hands down. That boy, when he screams, like that is a scream queen. This to me is such an iconic movie, probably the most iconic one of the entire franchise for me. Yeah, not my favorite movie from the series. That would be what is it? Three Dream Warriors?
3,
Dream Warriors
yeah.
is three, right? Yeah, that's my favorite. But this, I think, there were just so many moments in it that really stand out and like really kind of were ingrained into my head when I was little. I was like 6 years old watching this, which I should not have been, but
Sick.
We all start
yeah.
young. We all start young. Come on.
Yeah, one of my older cousins, he was obsessed with horror movies, and whenever we would go to his house, his room was in the basement, and he would take us down to the basement, like he would turn off all lights and we'd put on horror movies. My mom hated it because we'd go home and we'd be terrified, we didn't want to sleep, but we loved it.
No, I get it. And I think also just from a queer perspective, like we can't not talk about Jesse Walsh. And,
Yeah.
even though Mark Patton wasn't out at the time, just the I guess legacy of this as a queer horror film definitely deserves to be somewhere on this list. So I'm with you, Giovanni.
Yes.
I
Yes.
support you.
And then he's the only one that technically is a final girl without actually being a girl. So that's also, iconic in its own right. And Freddie fucked him up, like throughout the whole
Up
entire movie.
I mean, Freddie literally came out of him, like which can can be seen as like a whole kind of metaphor for coming out of the closet and whatnot. But like that scene terrified me. Freddie popping out of his abdomen was terrifying.
Yes, Freddie fucks him up. So yeah,
Mhm.
we got to give Jesse some credit. All right. And then the other honorable mention goes to Sam Carpenter from Scream 5 and 6. We have another final girl from Scream. And so that to me is like, ingrained in my head. And so, but this one, I think for the remakes, I think Sam did a okay job for filling, I would say, what, Nev Campbell's shoes.
Yeah, and I think also more so in Scream 6. Scream 5, I understand. Melissa Barrera got a lot of criticism, a lot of unnecessary hate, if I'm being honest,
Mm-hmm.
about her presence in the Scream franchise. And then when she came back in Scream 6, I think she came in with something to prove, and that's when she won me over as a final girl. And I just have so much love and respect for Marissa Barrera just as a human and as an artist, and it really breaks my heart that she's no longer going to be continuing in the Scream franchise, but I'm excited to see whatever she does.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate because all she was doing was speaking her mind, but apparently that's a problem these days. So,
Uh-huh. Ugh.
No, but
Don't
also
get me
like
started.
props to like Jenna for like also sticking beside her and be like, well, if she's not in it because of what she said, then I'm not in it either. So
correct.
props to both of them for speaking up and speaking against injustices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but, I guess on the bright side of things, we're getting Sidney back. So that's going to be fun. And we're going to get her back in like full time capacity because she did a few little cameos, but we're going to get her back in like full time capacity. And so I want to see Sidney kick Ghostface's ass again. I don't know. I feel like, it's nostalgia. I need it again in my life. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Very
Right.
interesting.
Yes. Okay, so let's get on to the list. Now, coming in at number 15, we have Carla Wilson from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, I know what you're thinking. Carla isn't your typical final girl, but she did help Julie out throughout the whole entire film, and they both made it to the end, even though Carla got her ass whooped. But, I mean, she did. Poor Brandy.
She
But
did,
Brandy
yeah.
got that ass whooped, okay? But I just think, obviously, for the sake of representation, we needed to see Carla, like, make it to the end, so I don't think I would be able to see Brandy die in a movie. Like, I don't think I can do. Like, I can't.
No, I would have been pissed. It would have been like Sarah Michelle Gellar all over again. And I think that's why she survived in the second one, because we were all pissed when SMG got knocked out. So if I can't have her, I will gladly take Brandy.
Yes. Apparently, they're coming out with, I guess, another one. So a sequel to the remake that just came out. And at the end credits, we have Julie going to Carla and saying, "Are you ready?" And she's like, "I was waiting for you to tell me that." And so now those two are going to be together.
I still haven't seen the movie because I've had time
you
to see it,
haven't?
but no. But okay, I mean, I don't mind spoilers. I typically read spoilers before I watch a movie, honestly.
Yes.
But that's iconic. Oh my god, I can't wait to see her.
Yes. But this one, for what is her face? For Julie to come back on screen, she said that she couldn't die. Like they needed to put it in the contract that she does not die and that she's gonna come back for a sequel. So like she put that out there and was like, I need this.
Okay.
And the media kind of, not to like get on a soapbox or anything, I saw so many headlines negatively talking about Jennifer Love Hewitt, like negotiating for the representation that, in my opinion, she deserved in this up-and-coming movie. And they kept saying, like, it threw the shoot in chaos, and it pissed me off, because she, I think, deserves to come back to this movie the way that she wants to, because it's kind of on her shoulders at this point. You know, she is carrying the legacy. So, sorry, I don't mean to go on a whole tangent here about how people are fucked up towards her, but I'm glad she came back, and I'm glad she didn't die. And I'm excited for the sequel. I've never seen a horror movie set up so much for a sequel. It's very clear that there's going to be another one. Very, very clear.
Yeah. Even when it was like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, it still was like, oh, we know there's going to be another one. This new one that I'm like, oh, they took it in a different direction. I was not expecting that. Obviously, I won't spoil it so much for you, Giovanni, but they did take it in a different direction, which I was like, wait, I didn't expect this one particular character to be this person. And I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting, but that makes sense. And I'm like, okay. So, yes.
Now, it's too late to go to the movies, but I'm about to go find some.
It's
Actually,
good.
let me not say. I was about to say I'm about to go find some illegal website to watch it on, but let me not say that on camera.
Let's not. Okay. Coming in at 14. Right. No, coming in number 14, we have Grace Latomas from Ready or Not. Now, I think this movie is hilarious, right? I don't know. It is something about Grace doing such an amazing job navigating her circumstances, but in a blood-soaked wedding dress at that. So throughout the whole entire movie, she has a wedding dress that just gets messed up as every scene goes by. It just gets worse and worse. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Such iconic imagery, that wedding dress. And I clocked that too. Just, it's almost like you're witnessing her transformation from like this cutesy little bride with a little bit of an edge into just a full-on badass. It's so cool.
Yeah. And at the end, is she just smoking a cigarette? Chef kiss.
That'd be me. If I survived the horror movie at the end, somebody get me a cigarette right now.
Yes.
But I really avoided this movie for so long when it came out because I'm like, it doesn't look like, it didn't grab my attention. I'm like, Ready or Not, like, what is this, like a horror hide and seek? Like, I don't want to watch that. I don't think I watched it till like maybe like 2 years after it came out. And when I finally watched it, I was so happy. I was like, oh, okay. I should have watched it when it initially came out instead of waiting. So now I'm definitely more open to horror movies that I'm typically not drawn to just because of this movie. I'm like, ooh, that was a good surprise. I need to be more open-minded to these different type of horror movies that are coming out now.
Yeah. And there's going to be a sequel to this. So it's called Ready or Not 2, which I think was a missed opportunity for it to be like Ready or Not, Here I Come, or like something different, right? Like, but Ready or Not 2, missed opportunity for a name.
I agree. Because I'm such a sucker for a pun or a portmanteau or just anything like that. So even Ollie Ollie Oxenfree, I don't care. Just I'm with you on there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's based on a game, so like they should have just made it like based on a game for the sequel. But I digress. But producers in Hollywood, sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not. Coming in at 13, we have Amanda Young from Saw. Now, Amanda is also not your typical final girl, even though she made it to the end of the movie. But she eventually helps John Kramer, the actual villain, which is rare, right? If you think of it. And so this is kind of like a subject turned apprentice, which is why I liked Amanda Young.
Yeah, and what I really like about her character is I feel like she throughout the movie you kind of see her progressively kind of getting even like I guess sipping the Kool-Aid even further and further and really buying into it and just becoming more unhinged as the movies went on. But I love her inclusion in the second movie when she was put back into the game, so she was kind of the guide. And also that scene of her in the pit with the needles, that scarred me. That scarred me.
Mhm.
I could not go to the doctors for like 2 years. Like that was terrifying.
Yeah, it still makes my skin crawl. And
Yeah.
the effects on that are cool because
Hmm.
there's you see like the full on needles hanging out of her arm.
Hmm.
And these are big ass syringes. And I'm just like, how do they. I'm very intrigued with how they attached it to her skin because
I
those are
actually know.
heavy. You do?
Actually, yes. So I they have a behind the scenes. I don't know if it was part of like the DVD or I don't know, but like the actual pit was filled with real needles. But what they did was they took out the actual needle and put in fiber optic plastic so that like it would bend. But all of those were actual real needles. I forgot how many. It was like thousands and thousands of needles that they had to buy, and I forgot. I think it took them several days to like remove all the needles and put the fiber optics in. And then they also searched out for the ones that they were gonna like put on her, and they just used obviously some prosthetics to put her on her. In the movie, yeah, they actually really threw her in a pit of syringes. It was just they had taken out the needle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wild. And
It is.
I thinking about the metric that y'all put out there, survivability, I think Amanda gets top marks in. Like she
Yeah.
is savage, primal. We see it in the needle pit, how you see the switch in her brain go from here I am to I
Yeah.
need to fucking survive, and she goes feral. It's her
Hmm.
will to live is incredible.
Yeah, like her just
Yes.
pushing through those needles, yes. And all of that to not even like get it was very like disheartening. And I think it just added to like the terror of the situation. Like she did all of that. She beat her trial. She went through all that pain. Oh, actually, it wasn't even her
It
trial.
wasn't even
It
her
was,
trial,
yeah, it
no.
wasn't
It
even
was
her
that
trial.
fuck ass guy,
Yeah,
the
who
It
threw her in
Xavier.
was.
there, the
Uh huh.
Surely
steroid, and
was.
then he couldn't get the fucking door open.
Which made it even worse. It wasn't even
Yeah.
her test, and she passed it. Like, come
Hmm.
on.
Yes.
I was so
I
glad
mean,
when he
that was
died.
great. But my favorite is what's pictured here. It's
The
the mouth trap. I
the
just think
reverse
that
bear
that's
trap.
like, yeah, like that right there tells you how much she wanted to survive. This one thing right here. Like that's our introduction to Amanda, right? That's what we got to see her. And she was determined to get that shit off her face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's also the most iconic trap of the Saw franchise. Like when I
Yes.
think Saw, the first thing that comes to my mind, trap wise, is the reverse bear trap. It's so iconic that they brought it back several times in the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite all time Saw trap is the one that pulls the detective apart. It's so it's like it's the lady that she's on a contraption and they pull
Oh,
it and then
the
they pull
angel
it apart.
one.
Yes, I thought that was like that's my favorite all time. And top three is the one that crushes the other detective. That one, and when the room comes together and just crushes him, it's great. But
Mm-hmm.
the actual villain goes down in the coffin, and I just thought that was amazing. Like top three.
Oh yeah.
I
I'm a
My
sucker
favorite,
for. Oh yeah, go
yeah.
for. Sorry.
No, no, you go.
I'm a sucker for the. We already talked about the needle pit, which is a big one for me. But the I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Saw 5. The fish hook in the PR lady's stomach that they have to pull out of her. Oh, no
Yeah,
way
yeah,
in
yeah.
hell. Kill me now. I would
No,
not be
I
able to do that one.
there's been several, but I think the one that stuck to me the most, besides the needle pit, was I think it's Saw 3 or 4 when the guy is attached like rigged to the machine that like twists his arms like slowly, like one by one, it like twists his arms and his legs and then finally his head. That one
Mm-hmm.
I had to pause several times and be like, ooh, I can get through this. But
Yeah.
that was like
The
Oh my
I
rat.
God, now I remember why we came up with this episode. So we were talking about the trap with, remember when they had to do a pound of flesh and she cut
Oh
oh
yeah.
yeah.
her arm off and she
Huh?
won Scream Queens, right? And
Season
so
one, yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
and so
right,
that's when
yes.
we were like, oh my God, we should be iconic if we just make an episode about like, oh, Scream Queen or Final Girls. And that's how the episode came out. I was like, I know it was a reason why we did it. And it had to do with Saw. Something crazy, but yes, that's why.
Oh, I'm not surprised. The pipeline from that reality TV to horror is very short. I totally
Very.
get it. I was a
Yeah.
huge fan of that show too. Shawnee Smith, the person that played Amanda, she hosted that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep. I remember
Oh, the
watching it
Right.
golden
like after
era.
I remember watching it after it aired in the legal website because it was after it aired, and back then there was like no Netflix, no Paramount, no all this stuff. So it was very poor quality, but like I lived for every minute of that show. We need
It's
something like
such a
Hmm.
that
good
again.
show. We too. Yeah. Okay. Coming in number 12, we have Erin Harson from Your Next. Now, she's a queen with survival instincts, sharper than the actual killers themselves. But I also think that Erin flipped the script in terms of brutal effectiveness. And so I like this is one of movies that I can't watch a second time, but I watched it the first time and I was like, oh, it's pretty good. I got to give her credit because she did what she needed to do.
Absolutely. And again, survivability top tier. Having grown up, I mean, she grew up on a survivalist compound, so that's literally her thing. But you're right, it is very brutal. The blender bit, disgusting. Effective and disgusting.
Right.
Hmm.
Yes. Right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was different because we really just saw her like lean into those survival instincts. And I think it just gave way to people saying, hey, listen, if some of those doomsday preppers, they may be onto something. So, like, they, you know?
Well, and it's also really fun as an audience member to have your expectations subverted, but also to watch real time the characters in the movie react to having their expectations subverted as well, because the killers had no idea that she was even capable of that. So,
Hmm.
along with just watching a horror movie, there was also a lot of joy in seeing almost this dark slapstick kind of reaction to this Bugs Bunny ass final girl that they're trying to kill. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Bugs Bunny as Final Girl is everything. I
It's so
love that.
good. It's so good. Yes. Put it on the t-shirt. All right. So coming at number 11, we have Jess Branford from Black Christmas, but the 1974 version. And the reason why I picked this one is because she was one of the first final girls. Also, Jess was pro-choice. She was assertive. And she kind of like set the genre before Laurie Strode did in terms of like what a final girl should be and be like. And then they just messed up the whole entire remake of Black Christmas. And I was like,
That
what
was
did you do?
Wait, which
oh,
remake?
well,
Right, that part.
Well, here's the thing. There's some charm, in my opinion, in the one with Michelle Trachtenberg and like all of them. Oh,
hated
Michelle
that one.
Trachtenberg. I think that one has a lot of like. When was the last time you watched it?
Like probably like 10 years ago.
Okay, watch it again. There's just a lot of nostalgic 2000s charm in it, especially when you compare it to the more recent one, which is
Mm-hmm.
just like garbage, garbage,
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
garbage, garbage.
I never even tried to watch the most recent one because of how much of a bad taste the last one left on it, like on me. Like I was like, I'm not even gonna attempt to watch this because it's probably just gonna be as bad as the other one. But I feel like with the what was that 2003 remake around that like the early 2000s remake,
I think it was like 2007, something around there. I
was it?
think, yeah.
It had such a good cast. Like Michelle Trachtenberg, I was so excited to see it, and then I was so
Mm-hmm.
disappointed when I actually saw it. The only scene that I remember from that movie is when he's eating the flesh cookies, or she, or somebody's eating flesh cookies. That's the only thing I
Do
remember.
yourself a favor. Watch it again. Fresh eyes, baby. But I mean, it's not as good as the original. Like, the original's on this list for a reason. It set the standard before Halloween took all of the credit for it, you
Mhm.
know?
Yep. Yeah. Which I don't think people know that, right? And I think just we have to give credit where credit is due. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a
Agreed.
really good like choice to put. All right, coming in at number 10, we have Dana Polk from The Cabin in the Woods. Now, she literally survived a government concocted horror simulation, which I think is very on brand for today because I feel like we're in one um, in these days. But it was very meta, right? It was gutsy and just the right amount of like tragic, I would have to say, in my opinion.
Yeah, I for me this is another movie I avoided when it first came out because like even just from the title, you're like Cabin in the Woods, like what? This is essentially another Friday the 13th. Like it's a slasher horror movie, horror film set in the woods with a bunch of horny teenagers. Like it's nothing new. And then one day I finally watched it. I don't even remember why I decided to watch it, but I was so enamored with the movie. And like you said, how meta it was and how unafraid it was to kind of poke fun at horror movies. Because at that point, like when this movie came out, all the horror movies were kind of following the same formula over and over and over again. So I love that this poked fun of it, but it never felt cheesy. Or not in a negative way, because it was kind of a campy movie. But yeah, I mean, I love the characters, even the ones that died early and were kind of dumb because they just kind of leaned into the the ridiculousness of horror movies at the time. But she,
Hmm.
Dana, was very, very smart. You know, like she knew what to do. Her and I don't remember the guy's name that's pictured right there, the pothead. He was my favorite character of
Marty.
the movie.
I have a controversial opinion here. I do like
No.
Dana. I think
Okay.
Dana's great. I feel like because Cabin in the Woods is, I'm gonna embarrass myself here. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it
Same,
is
same.
a masterpiece. It is such a love letter to horror. There's so much that I enjoy about it. I think that Marty is the real final girl of this movie. No shade to Dana, she's great, but Marty is the one that realizes first, oh, something's not right here. Marty is
Thanks
the
to the weed.
one that yes, exactly. Marty is the one that he's the first one to kill one of the zombie redneck people. He's the one that finds the way down into the thing. Like he's kind of the initiator and Dana just follows suit until pretty much close to the end. So while I do respect your choice to put Dana on here, I personally think Marty did it a little bit better.
I respect that. It's not controversial at all. I think, I think you proved the case to put Marty. So, hey,
Hmm.
listen,
You
we
should
need to
be
scratch it
Dana
off and
slash
put
Marty.
Marty. Dana slash Marty.
There
Listen,
we
it's
go.
pictured in the photo.
Exactly. The duo.
Right. Okay. So now, coming in number 9, we have Gail Weathers from Scream. Okay. So technically, not the official final girl, but we have to be real here because she survives every movie that she's in. And she throws hands and she delivers iconic one liners. Okay. Like, we have to give it to Gail because she is like the second person that you think about when you think of Scream, like, in my opinion.
And she takes more hits. Like, let's be honest. She gets shot, she gets stabbed, I don't even know how many times. And she's still the first person to dive headfirst into the situation to try to fucking figure it out. And also just like no, I love Sidney, but I think Gail is way more of an interesting character. She's ambitious, she evolves so much over the franchise. She's my favorite like survivor of the Scream franchise. I'm not gonna lie.
Same, same,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, I love the story arc that she went through throughout the movies because I feel like when I first watched the original movie, I really did not like Gail. I was like, she was hard to like, but as the movies progressed and she kind of started to mature and change, that's when I really started to fall in love with her, and I was like, "Ooh, this girl cannot die!" Like every time it would come close, I'd be like, "No, no, 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 no!" Like Miss Gail cannot die. But yeah, I mean, I think she's kind of. No, I don't want to say that. She's
Well, now
almost
you
as
have to say
Say
it.
iconic as. No,
say
I
it.
was gonna say I think she's more iconic than Sydney. But no, like Sydney is Scream. But I think Gail is a close second.
Yeah, I agree. Also, on this last one, they almost had me. I was like, oh my God, she's about to die. But he whipped her ass and she still survived.
I was convinced that they were going to throw her off that balcony. I'm not even kidding
Same,
you. I went into
same.
that movie and I'm like, if I don't get a high rise defenestration, I'm going to be upset. And if it's Gale, I'm going to be even more upset than if we didn't get one. I swore up and down that that's what's going to happen. And I'm glad it didn't. I
Right.
am because I love her. It would have been a
Yeah.
bold choice, but
Yes. I was like, oh, they got her. I was like, they got her, girl. I was like, oh, she's gone. She's down for the count. Because he was kicking her ass.
Hmm.
And I'm like, she's not recovering
Girl.
from this. Like, she's getting her
Listen,
ass
Miss Gail
beat.
Weathers is
Mm.
bionic or something because she's gotten her ass beat several times, but she still survives. She must come from
No,
the
but
same
this one
bloodline as
was,
Michael Myers or something.
I don't know, but this one was like the last one I said, like, they got her. They got her good. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, they needed that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, wow.
Hmm.
Okay.
I also just love how when she's on the phone with Ghostface, he's talking and she's like, hold on, hangs up, Star 69's his ass and calls him and then shoots him through the door. Brilliant. Brilliant.
So good. Yes. I'm
So
telling you,
catty.
like, her one-liners, just her comic relief in the movie, is her comedic timing is so good.
Hmm.
Chef kiss. We love Courtney Cox. So, all right. Coming number 8 is Sarah Carter from The Descent. Now, as you can see, this movie is all about blood, and it is a bloody mess. I had to put this one on, even though, spoiler, if you've seen Descent 2, she dies. But I had to put this one on this one because, mostly for her fight with Juno, hands down, probably one of the best fights between two, like, I would say main characters in a movie, because they was going at it. And I was like, I live for this. Whoever wins is gonna make it to the end, and they did. So
I mean, she
Hmm.
was sleeping with her man. I would have ditched the bitch too.
I know, they were fighting for good reason. And she killed her
Yeah,
best friend and
and
left her
yeah,
for dead. Come on. Come
yeah.
on.
No, I would have left her. I would have like beat her ass and then left her to get eaten as well.
yeah, and then we
I don't
find out
even
that
know
she
if I would
actually
have.
didn't die. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I would have even taken the chance. I would have just thrown her at him. Or, yeah, just thrown her, like, right in the pit with them and run off. Like,
Here's your
girl,
little snack. Let me
Juno.
go.
Yeah,
yeah,
this movie is terrifying, too. It scared the shit out of me the first time I
yes,
saw it.
yes. Yes. This movie is a master of jump scares. I don't think it's so much like horror. I just think it's one of those things where you're not expecting it. And out of nowhere, either Juno pops up in the car at the end and you're like, oh shit, all bloody, right? And you was not expecting that. Or it's like one of like the blind creatures and they just come out of nowhere. And I think that's what this movie is really good at. But other
Hmm.
than that, sometimes it was a slow burn for me. And then when it got good, it got good. And then it was like, okay, cool. All right.
I can see that. I personally think that the scariest parts are before the monsters show up, when they get caved in. Because that reality of just being trapped and betrayed by your best friend and not knowing how the fuck you're gonna get out of it, that alone is already absolutely terrifying. And then it's all, for me, it was almost like, oh, thank God, there's a monster here, so we can deal with that and not have to sit in this existential dread of being trapped in a cave.
I can
I
see
think
that.
some of the movies that tend to stick with me the most, horror-wise, are actually the ones that are more psychologically thrilling than like jump scares, because those are like they come and go really quick, really easy, whatever. But it's the psychological ones that keep you thinking even after you watch the movie, like, ooh, what would I have done in this scenario? Or they have you thinking about life. And I think this is a perfect example of those types of movies. At least the first half of it.
Same.
Yeah, just playing with dread. I think dread and shock are both super valuable to use in a horror movie,
Hmm.
and this does use both of them to
Hmm.
great
Hmm.
effect.
Yeah. And then make sure you just watch the unrated version because it's so much better.
Oh yeah,
Ju-
co-signed.
Yep,
Yes.
so much better. All right, coming in number 7, we have Sally Hardesty from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we have pure primal terror. I think Sally's escape from Leatherface defined gritty, like survival horror. And then it was like the birth of the genre too. For some reason, I just feel like Leatherface is a very sexual being because he takes your skin and he puts them. I don't know. That's just me. I might be
Hmm.
just thinking too much in it, but that's
We need
just
to unpack this.
my opinion. It's my
We
I'm
need
opinion.
to
very
go.
curious, actually. Yeah.
Just
We need
saying.
to unpack this. Like, why
I always thought it was a very
Leatherface,
sexual movie. I don't know.
sexual do not belong in the same
Yeah.
sentence?
I think it's very sexual. Like, I think it's very sexual to take somebody's skin and put it on yours. Like, that's a lot.
This thing, I'm never going out drinking with you again.
I can see it. It's a very intimate kind of act,
Yeah.
being
It-
inside somebody in a way, or
Yeah.
on somebody in a way.
okay.
Interesting. I never would have thought that I'd hear Leatherface as a sex symbol. I get it though. I think.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll
Just like
support
Freddy is a
you.
gay icon. I think Leatherface
Freddie
Yeah.
is
is a
a
gay
sexual
icon.
movie.
Freddy and
I
Chucky are
mean,
good
Mm-hmm.
it's
icons.
debatable. Oh yeah, well
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, yes,
yes.
yes.
Chucky's an ally.
Um,
Chucky's an ally. Chucky, sorry, go ahead.
would you say Chucky? No, no,
Oh,
Chucky is absolutely an ally. Chucky
Chucky
is a
literally,
supportive parent.
he literally said like, "I'm not a like." What was it when in the TV show when
I got a
who was it?
kid,
Jake.
gender
Yeah.
fluid.
Yes,
Yeah,
I love that. Oh my God. And then he's like, I'm not a monster, Jake. Even though he just
so
killed his like
good.
father.
Yeah, I know, honestly. Um, but yeah, Sally, I I think of her as kind of like a deer in a way. Just as soon as like she has to run, she runs and she does not stop fucking running. That chase scene is insane. It
Mm-hmm.
is wild. And watching her leap through the window of that house in just adrenaline fueled hysteria is ooh. That's the last shots of that movie are both equally beautiful and terrifying. Just watching her ride away into the sunset, like maniacally laughing
And him
and
with the
screaming at the
chainsaw.
same time. Super effective, super effective. But she got out. What's left of her? Who knows? But well, I guess they answered that in the new one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind. They threw her in the trash. Threw her right in the garbage pile. Justice for Sally on that one, actually. That was
I know.
uncalled for.
Yeah. Poor
I really
thing.
hate when they
All right.
Yeah.
bring survivors back and they don't treat them right.
Hmm.
Like I hate that. Like I hate
Yeah.
when they bring them back and kill them off in like the first 5 minutes, or just don't give them a memorable story arc, or just kind of undo the character arc from before. I hate that, and I think horror movies need to stop doing that.
Yeah, because at that point it just feels like a cash grab. Like, I
Yeah.
support it if the story makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
I think that's cool. But if it's just like this, they get Sally in for like fan service and then just toss her to the side. I'm with you. That shit's kind of annoying for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Coming in number 6, we have Kirsty Cotton from Hellraiser. Now, she just wasn't fighting Cenobites. She was outsmarting hell itself. And then Kirsty brought an emotional depth to the grotesque. Now, okay, I know that said that Leatherface is a very sexual movie, but I think Hellraiser is a very sexual movie.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
like those Cenobites are like it was like pleasure with but like gross. I don't know. They're weird.
It's so BDSM coded. It's
Hmm.
not it neon signs pointing down to it. It's so sexy. Women would write Pinhead fan mail, salacious fan mail, because they wanted him to jump their bones. Like, it's a very sexy movie. Sorry. I just emphatically agreeing with you.
For Hellraiser, absolutely yes. It is a very, very sensual movie. I mean, they're literally demons of like pain and pleasure, or whatever the hell they always say. Um, and just their
Hmm.
outfits, like some of them are very revealing. It's definitely a very sexual movie franchise, actually.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm not sure if you've seen the remake, but there is like a fan theory. The new, I would say, Pinhead is Kirsty Cotton because in the comics, she becomes one of the Cenobites and she becomes the Princess of Hell, right? And so they're thinking that, oh, because the new remake is a female version of Pinhead, that is her. But they don't give that any like I would say just context or anything like that. They don't dive into that story, but that's what the fans are speculating. So that's why I put that picture for them side by side.
I kind of love that. And like
Hmm.
also let's give some flowers to trans icon Jamie Clayton. I loved her portrayal of Pinhead in this new one. I thought it was a whole new it was so stoic, like void of emotion. And I think that's at the core when Cenobites are the scariest. They have no empathy. Just pain and pleasure, that's what they provide. And it's so good. And if Kirsty Cotton is in fact that Pinhead, I'm an even bigger fan of that movie now. I think that's such a cool storyline.
Yeah. It's like a whole like I would say Reddit like rabbit hole that she is like the new that's who she is in the movie. So we shall see.
Yeah, I think there's one of the because there's so many freaking Hellraiser movies and like most of them are garbage. I'm pretty sure Kirsty Cotton does come back in one of the later ones, and I think she's in hell in that movie or something like that.
Hmm.
Uh, I didn't see the whole thing, but yeah, that would I would have been much happier if it went her going Cenobite versus her being in hell.
Yeah. Because that's how the comics let go. And so the movie doesn't, it kind of strays away from that. So that's why people are like, oh, maybe the remake was trying to get back like true to the comics.
I hope so. I hope so. Kirsty's great. She's scrappy. She's so
Mm-hmm.
smart.
Yeah. And her uncle was a son of a bitch.
Oh God, Uncle Frank, that fucking creep. Jesus wept. You know he was hard as a rock. At the end of Hellraiser, before his body was obliterated, he was pitching a tent so fucking hard. He was so turned on with his flesh getting ripped like that. God.
Yes. Which
Pervy.
they played it, they kind of like give a nod to that in the remake at the end with, I forgot what his name, like the antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And they rip his skin off too. Because remember, he has a contraption on his back that turns and it kind of like pleases him at the same time.
Yes. Okay. 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 Got it.
Yeah,
It's
so
I've
they kind
only
of play
saw
with
the
that.
remake once, but that's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so
Sick.
like it's a brutal transformation at the end, but it's something beautiful at the same time. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to unpack why I thought that was like
Yeah,
great, but okay.
I
Let's
mean,
say.
Hellraiser is just a beautiful movie, especially the first
it is.
one.
It
If
is.
anybody
Yes.
listening has not seen the first one, it's horny, it's beautiful, it's dark and creepy and gross.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yes. All right. So now it's the top five time. Oh, rounding out the top five, we have Julie James from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, obviously, we had to put this on it because she gave us 90s horror melodrama, right? A killer scream, and that iconic, what are you waiting for? Like, that is iconic.
Yes.
And so, obviously, she has to be in the top five for that, just for that reason.
I can see it. I do like Julie, don't get me wrong. I she's very cold, is she not? Especially in the first one. I don't know. I've never accidentally like killed somebody and dumped the body, so I can never know what she was going through. But she she was just so cold to everybody in her life, and I'm like, I'm having a really hard time wanting you to survive when your best friend is here like crying for your connection again. I don't know. She did get better in the second one, but in the first one, oof, I I had a really hard time with her. Not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah. She was also really annoying in the first one, though. Like, she was cold,
She was.
but annoying. I was like,
Yeah. And she ran away from every conversation she had with Ray, who I guess she
mm-hmm,
wanted to be in a relationship with. It was wild.
mm-hmm.
But we love you, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
So, coming at number four, we have Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, Nancy turned the tables on Freddy multiple times by facing her nightmares head on with homemade booby traps and just raw nerve. Now, I mean, I have to give it to her because she did give Freddy a run for his money in all the movies that she was in. So, give it up to Nancy.
Mm-hmm. She's my number
Yeah.
one. I love Nancy so much. So much. Also very scrappy. Heather Langenkamp is just such a joy to watch on screen. And I think the trilogy of the first one, Dream Warriors and New Nightmare is such a wonderful trilogy within the franchise because it's all driven by her. So good.
New Nightmare, like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, was one of damn, I forgot about that when I was listing my favorites. It's one of my top three, but I just love the unique take on it of it being kind of meta too, of being like, oh well, the actress is now being haunted by this demon that is taking the form of Freddy Krueger. But like Will said, she fought back every single time. In Dream Warriors, she came back and she helped the kids and she gave them the tools that they needed in order to fight him. Obviously, she got killed, but I think she's one of the few final girls that really could stand up to their antagonist, and that makes her iconic.
Mm-hmm. And she also afterwards goes to mentor and help other people, which mad
Hmm.
respect.
Yeah.
Going from her experience, you mentioned this, just finding this group of kids and really caring and leading them through and like teaching them how to fight as well. Like she's so selfless in that regard,
Hmm.
and I think that's great too.
Yeah. And so now with the top three, I think each of the final girls in the top three, they have a certain grit to them, and also like a determination to like fight back. And so I think obviously Nancy kind of started that like trajectory of like you're gonna fight like the monster, right? And so I think all three of them coming up is a real testament to that, especially number three, which is Ellen Ripley from Alien, right? Not only is she a horror, but she's also a sci-fi icon. She's fearless, she's maternal, she's fiercely intelligent, and she took on the xenomorphs like head on and male authority in space at the same time. So like she did double duty. Gotta give it up to Ellen.
Absolutely. The smartest bitch on that ship and nobody wanted to listen to her. Such a shame. Such a freaking shame. But hey, she made it through and we love
Yeah,
her
but
for it.
nobody ever listened to her in every single movie except I think the only one they listened to her in, and there was only some of them. What was that? Was that three when she was like in that prison planet or whatever it was? I think that was Aliens 3.
I think so. That's the one that she dies in, right?
Yeah,
She
that she
dies in
like
3.
yeah. Yeah, those were the only
Yeah.
ones who listened to her, and even then they still got their asses whooped.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, coming in number two, we have obviously Sidney Prescott from Scream. Right. She is smart, she's self-aware, and she's also tough as nails. Sidney redefined the final girl for a meta generation, and she kept evolving over 5 brutal movies. And so I have to give it up to Sidney because she kind of redefined that new era of final girls, in my opinion, especially and during that generation. And so I thought she kicked his ass too. So like I was like, listen, Sydney is not playing any games right now.
And especially because she had the sex. So she was supposed to die. Like at that time, like that's what we were used
Yes,
to.
yes.
And we're just like, no, she can fuck and survive. Like good for her.
And
And
also
both of those happened to be against her boyfriend at the time.
and also her being smart enough to like go back for the headshot, like the double kill. Like nobody ever does that. And she made sure that as soon as he got his ass up, she shot him right in the forehead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she also, like, similar to Nancy, we see her story evolve from surviving to helping and supporting other
Mhm.
people too. Like in Scream 3, she's, working on that crisis call center. And then she writes her book and then she mentors all these other people. So again, it's great to see this final girl evolve into a mentoring kind of role as well.
Yeah. And then doesn't if I'm not mistaken, in the last one, she helps Sam identify where the killer is coming from. She's like, oh, well, they have to be someone close to you and it has to be this. And I have to give it to Nev Campbell because she said, if I'm coming back, I'm not dying. I'm going to live.
Well, and imagine just how shameful would that be to have Sydney survive and go through so much only to die at the end of it all, and it just would have been so unsatisfying as a fan to see that. Like it at this point, I think Sydney is untouchable, which sucks because that kind of takes a little bit of the stakes out of it whenever she's on screen. But also, I just at this point she can't die. It would be a mistake to kill her off just because she has survived so much.
Agreed. All right. So now, the moment that we've all been waiting for, the number one iconic final girl. I think based on this list, I think everybody knows who it is because it's very obvious, right? But it's not other than Laurie Strode from Halloween. Now, this is the blueprint. Laurie was the quiet babysitter who became the ultimate survivor, repeatedly facing off with Michael Myers. Her legacy actually spans over 40 years. So, like, in terms of
And like
like
3 different timelines too.
right.
Yeah.
In terms of like cultural impact, it's like there's no one else beating Laurie Strode. Like, come on now.
Absolutely. A lot of people, most of the people that I know would probably name her as number 1. And because Michael Myers is also a lot of people's number 1. He's like one of the most iconic slasher killers. So with that, you have to have his foil, and she is smart. She is the blueprint. There's a multiverse out there of several Laurie Strodes, and you can pick your favorite one. Mine is, despite Halloween Ends being kind of a mess, that timeline personally. But yeah, there's no denying that she's like the one.
I think my personal favorite timeline would actually be 1, 2, and then what was it, H2O? I love that movie. Was it the
Hmm.
best Halloween movie? No. It was, and honestly, it's actually one of the worst costumes, I think, or like one of the worst masks they had on in the franchise. But I don't know. Those I think it's because I had a huge crush on Josh Hartnett, whatever his name is. So that's why I fell in love with that
Yeah,
movie.
Josh Hartnett.
Yes.
Yeah. These heartthrobs, baby. It was a very sexy cast. You had LL
Yes.
Cool J. Yeah. That one, if we subtract Resurrection from
We don't
that
talk about that
timeline,
one.
sure. Where Busta Rhymes is the real final girl of that movie.
What?
Wake it
True
up.
Blue. Buster Rhymes is the final. Put him at number one on this list. He did
Wake it
Kung Fu
up.
against Michael Myers. Come on now.
He kicked
Wake
him
it
straight into
up.
those wires.
Yes.
Happy
Yes.
Halloween.
We love Busta. Well, old Busta, not so much new Busta. We don't know about
Goodness.
we don't claim new Busta. No, I mean I think those are great versions. I don't know why. I like the newer versions of Halloween. That's like mine. I just feel like it's a little darker, more of like my speed, and it's like okay, a little bit more cerebral. And I'm like, okay, I like this. Who was the new director? Because he has a certain like style.
Was
Is
it
it Rob
David Gordon
Zombie?
Green? No. Rob Zombie did the remakes in the 2000s. 2018 one I think was David Gordon Green and I think Danny McBride.
Hmm.
And I agree. 2018 is phenomenal. I think it's such a wonderful. It was so exciting, which I think is what makes the other two kind of hurt a little bit more because that one is we see Laurie and she's this flawed survivalist who happened to just she was right. So it's like you can't even fault her on any of it and you see all of that generational impact of it all. Ugh, I love that movie so much. It's
Yeah.
so good. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
No,
totally fine. No, I
but
love it. I love how passionate you are about these things.
but also don't hate on Halloween Kills. I actually really like that movie, but I think it was mainly for the
Kills was
nostalgia
fine.
aspect of it, like having all those characters come back and kind of go against Michael Myers. Ends. Mm-mm. I did not like Ends at all.
I think Ends works as its own kind of thing. I love the idea of how this community grieves and experiences trauma, and I think that's
Hmm.
something that we don't get to see a lot in slashers. You know, how the events of the slasher affect the community at large beyond just like the tropes of don't go into the woods, kids. But the also the idea that evil doesn't die, it just changes shape. I think that's really interesting too. It's just very unfortunate that that happened at the end of a trilogy that was so hyped up, especially centered around Michael Myers and then having him barely in the movie. Spoiler alerts, everybody. Whatever, it's 2 years old. Should have watched it. But yeah, just like having Michael not as prominent and not having a real satisfying showdown between him and Laurie. I agree with you there. That kind of sucks at the end of a
Yeah,
trilogy.
and honestly, to me, it felt more. Halloween Ends felt more like like a romance film to me than like a Michael Myers, like a Halloween film,
Oh
and that's what
yeah.
I really disliked about it.
Call me jaded. I want absolutely zero romance in my horror movies. I'm sorry, everybody. Sex is fine. No romance. I don't want romance. I much prefer sibling storylines like in Nope. I think that was great, but no romance, please. Sorry.
I love that. I love that. Well, there you have it. That was 15 iconic final girls who didn't just survive the horror, they defined it. Whether they were slashing through nightmares, outsmarting serial killers, or screaming their way into our pop culture hearts, these women prove that final girls don't play, they slay. So now, before we let Cryberry go, Cryberry, tell everybody where to find you.
Oh, yes. I am on the Instagram at cryin without the G underscore in underscore public. And you can follow my podcast. That's Horror Icon, spelled UHORROR Icon Pod. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, all that tasty cookie goodness. So thank you for
Love
having me.
that.
Yes.
Of course. Now, we want to hear from you. Who's your favorite final girl? Did I miss anyone? Should somebody be knocked off the list? Drop a comment. And then make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single episode of the Previously On podcast. Until next time, everyone.